Hello and welcome. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. I got the Christmas swag on, ready for the holiday season. Let's talk about a silent voice, which at the end of the credits it said the shape of voice. So I don't know if that's the actual translation. And then the English, they're just like, no, a silent voice is better. But a silent voice, that's what we're going to talk about. What is it about? It is about a girl who shows up to a school. She's a new student and she's deaf. And she gets picked on, she gets bullied, and if not by everyone, a small group, but even the ones who aren't bullying her, they're not really inclusive. She'll come up and like write on her pad and say, "Hey, what are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, nothing," because they're talking about her. So she's kind of ostracized. She's alone. And then there is one boy. What's his name? Shoya, who bullies her relentlessly and in really terrible ways. He will come up behind her, rip her hearing aid out, throw it out the window. He'll go up behind her and shout right in her ear, just, "Hey!" to see what her reaction is. Stand outside with a hose and just drench her with water. And you're just like, dude, it's a rough beginning to watch. It's rough to watch it. So the story, that's only like the first 20 minutes of the movie. The next like hour and 45 minutes, yeah, it's a long one, is him trying to make amends and really getting to know her, because we take a time jump only like 5 years, I think it said. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's just him trying to make amends for what he did. And, he's actually going through a tough time. These past 5 years have not been good for him because he kind of got ostracized for how he treated the girl. People kind of turned on him. Most people, because they're decent human beings, are like, dude, that's not cool. And then even some of the people who are also kind of bullying this girl, they kind of saw which way the wind was blowing. It was like, oh, yeah, yeah, you're a jerk. Don't go near him. So yeah, he's had a real rough go of life. So rough that, well, watch the movie and see how he's feeling about himself, the doubts he has. Yeah. And so he's trying to make amends with this girl who's still dealing with her own problems. Not only because it's 5 years later, and she remembers because they meet back up, and when she first sees him, she kind of freaks out, understandably. But she's dealing with her own stuff, not even having to do with him. She has her own problems, her self worth. Having this disability, she kind of feels like she she's a burden on people, and she's always saying sorry, and people, even some of the kids, like get mad at her because they're like, "Stop saying sorry. Why are you sorry for?" So she's got this to deal with. So it's both of them who need a lot of work on themselves. And they come together and try to find maybe a little happiness with each other, make up for the past, forget about the past, and see what the future can hold for them. It's a tough one to watch, just because there are a lot of ups and downs. But even in the ups, you're just kind of feeling like, especially with the boy, he's not really happy, or he's not sure how to act. He's just not sure how to act. And the girl too, she's happy when she's out and around the friends, but then you should go home and have her down moments. So it's tough to watch. It's tough to watch these people being like, because people like this in life. You're like, look, things are good, happy, things are great. Turn the phone off at them. But even if you tell people or try to show them a good time, you see them smiling. Once they're behind closed doors. You can't always change what's inside people, how they feel. So it's a tough one because of that. You're just rooting for him, but we kind of go up and down and up and down, and they're like, okay, yeah, look at this. But then maybe a little thing happens or a big thing happens, and it just takes them sinking way, way, way down low, and you're just like, oh man. There is a moment, which I will not spoil, the 100-minute mark. It almost made me really mad at this movie. They could have taken a turn, and I would have been really angry. But there's a big moment in this movie. And then at the end, I'm not going to tell you what happens. Some of these movies do not end on highs. I will not tell you if this one goes up or down at the end. You just have to watch and find out. So we're gonna do spoilers. If you have not watched it, go watch it. It's very good. If you enjoy these emotional kind of movies, like Your Name that I've watched recently, Look Back, you're gonna like this one. It's long. They could have cut like half an hour or 20 minutes out of this. 2 hours and 6 minutes. Uh, It took me. I had to cut it in half and come back and watch it. Well worth it though. So go watch it. Come back for spoilers. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you can yell at me down in the comments. But we're gonna talk about spoilers. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. All right. So yeah, the first 20 minutes of this movie, man, are hard to watch, and I just wanted to reach for the screen and strangle that boy and throw him up against the wall and be like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm glad when that person came up and they were like, "Yeah, someone's been bullying this girl," and and the teacher was like, "You stand up." It's like, "Yes, call him out, call him out." I love that transition where they go out of school and they're face to face and she sees him and she writes on her notepad, "I'm sorry." And he gets angry and he throws it in the water. But then we see that kind of like turn and then he like it comes to and he's in the water with all his books and backpack in the pond and I'm like, wait, what's going on?" I was like, is this some kind of dream that he's dreaming? And it was like, oh no. 5 years later, and like I said, that turn when even the kids who bullied uh Shoko, even they're like, "Oh yeah, it was him, boo, boo, yeah, be ashamed of yourself." And you're just like, "Oh, you jerks, you jerks." And so even his friend just turned on him, cold turkey, snip, cut, you're done. And ooh, that messed with his mind. They first because his mom holds up that envelope with the money, and I saw it had some English on it, but I didn't exactly see what it says. And she's like asking like, "Why do you want to kill yourself or something?" I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute. What did it say on there?" And it was something about money. But she was like so calm and cool about it. About why do you want to kill yourself or da 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 da. And then she kind of freaks out. I'm like, all right, that was a little weird how nonchalant she was about that. Then we get the interesting part visually with this movie with all the X's on people's faces. And at first, I thought it was just all the people who were just cut off from him. Like they chose, they're just like, yeah, you're not talking to me. I'm not going to respond to you. You are nothing. So you're just closed off to all these people. Because then that one kid that he befriends, the X falls off. So that's what I found out, or that's what I thought it meant. Later we find out it's not quite right. Um, we get the and also didn't anybody else think that what's his name Yuzuru was a girl even from the beginning when he's like, "Oh, are you her boyfriend? She must like younger boys now." I'm like, why does that look so much like a girl? It's not a boy, right? It's got to be a girl. It's got to be. And then you find out it's his sister. I'm like, yeah, can't fool me. Um, most of this really is kind of just not much going on, right? It's just the back and forth or them just being together, slowly building things up together. That moment, I don't understand what his problem was, Shoya, not understanding her. Because it when she says, "I love you," it's a little difficult to understand, but you can tell what she's saying. He's just like, what? I love you. And it's just like, inside you're just like, dude. Ah! That was frustrating. Even before that, when she was trying to talk and she was talking so much and he couldn't understand and she was like, "Do you think my voice is weird?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, a little bit." And you're just like, don't say that. What are you doing? Clueless, man. But I guess if you've been ostracized and you're basically living life alone forever for the last 5 years, you're not going to pick up on obvious social cues or how to react. Man, he was frustrating. Then we get to the point where everything's starting to get good again, right? All the friends are coming around. They find that old classmate. They're going to the theme park together. And then Naoka gets on the Ferris wheel. What in the world? Girl, give it up, right? Let it go. Even from what she was at the Meow Meow shop, she gets on the bike and she's like making fun of Shoko still, and you're just like, mean girl. Mean girl. So yeah, we get that moment, which again, hard to watch. Hard to watch that stuff. And they're sitting there, and you can always see Shoko, like, doing like the hand grabbing stuff or the gripping. Then, of course, as things are going well between the two of them, Shoya gets called out in class. People are all finding out. They're just like yelling at the front door about he's the one who bullied her. And then the exes go back up. And then that moment on the bridge where all the friends are there. And it's basically, he just like, push, just go back away. Go back away. Let me go back in my hole. Yeah. Which is, I guess, kind of a good thing because then it just allows Shoya and Shoko to have more moments together. Just them two going around, doing things, enjoying times together, which was nice. I mean, sometimes you just need to be the two of you, right? Get away from all the noise. So yeah, it may have hurt some feelings with the friends, but if it helped the two of them, it was like, kind of needed. Then we get the big moment. Because honestly, this has been what? 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes was when they were in elementary school doing all the bullying. Then, like the next 15 minutes, 50, not much going on. Then we get to 100-minute mark. The fireworks. She's got to go back home and study. Hey, could you go back and get my camera? And this show almost made me really mad twice in like what, 2 minutes? When you see her getting up on that ledge and then he runs in. First, he's still trying to take off his shoes. He's like, leave your shoes on and go. He's like, let me get my shoes off. Stop. You're like, go. Trips over the table in the kitchen. And you're just like, "Ugh." And when the curtain blows, she's there, she's there, she's there. Gone. And you're like, no, do not do this. I was sure, okay, he got there and he pulled her down and they're laying down on the tile inside the balcony. But then you see the hand over the edge. You're like, okay, he caught her, but how is this going to work out? Is this? It is a movie, but all that movie magic where people are like holding someone with like one arm reached out and they're just going to pull them out. That's not how it works. Nobody has that kind of strength. And you're just like, he's not going to be able to pull her up. And then finally she gets her hand up and you're like, okay, phew. And then he flips over the edge and you're like, don't do this. No. I was staring at the screen just like, because you're just waiting. And you're like, if they just killed him after giving us 2 minutes of stress with her almost dying and they killed him. Man, that would have taken some balls to do that. Don't know how they would have finished out the movie, but whew. But no, he's fine. I see you in the hospital. But of course, people are not letting Shoko go into the hospital room. That was an interesting scene where she goes in the hospital and she's like, open the door, and she's like trying to open it, but the other girl's holding it closed. Then we get the fight outside. I don't think it was Naoka that was fighting, right? It was some other girl beating her and kicking her, and just the raw emotion coming out. But then he escapes from the hospital. Everything's all fine and dandy. And I don't know about you. This will be the last thing I talk about here. Are the exes when they're at that festival or something outside, and the exes all fall down to the ground? It's got to be because he's finally happy with who he is in life. He's happy with who he's become. He can look at himself in the mirror, maybe. He can look at himself in the mirror, and thus now he's ready to look at everybody else. All right? He wasn't looking at everybody else because really he was too ashamed to even look at himself. Is that what you got? That's what I figured it was. But it was this big emotional buildup, him crying, and we get that blurry circle getting bigger and bigger, and then it just ends. in that last moment, it didn't really hit me as much as the balcony scene. The balcony scene is what really got me. After that, I was like, okay, everything else is easy. But yeah, really good movie. Could have been 20, 30 minutes shorter. There are a bunch of little scenes in there that they could have just snip out. But, everything built up for our understanding and our emotional buildup for this relationship between these two people and really the relationship with themselves. You got to worry, though, what's her face, Shoko. She's going to be a hard one to deal with. I think he's gotten over his problems or doubts. Has she? Has she? Yeah. I don't know. Could sit and dwell on this for a long time. But please do let me know down below what you think about it. Recommend other movies. I need to take a break from this these heart stompers. Yeah. But this was a good one. I really enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you thought about it. Like and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And I'll see you next time.